Hey guys, it's Nina from Innov8 Technology. I guess I just wanted to check in and share my thoughts on a couple of bits and pieces that I've been checking out within our Sage 200 ecosystem. I've been spending some time thinking about solutions that could be deployed remotely, could be deployed swiftly, and things that would have maximum value to you as a customer. Now, I've picked a few things to talk about, this being the first in the series, and today's topic, I wanted to give you an insight into the Sicon auditing module. Now, to me, every organisation will benefit from this. The ability to track and trace what changes have been made either to core data or to transactions, and the ability to see who made the change, when the change was made, and why that change was in fact made. Now, the first thing that we need to do is set the module up. So within the settings, the system will present to me all of the areas that we can track and trace from an auditing point of view, through to cash book, nominal ledger, purchase order processing, and so forth. So it could be some modules you may not use, therefore we can disable it. Or for modules that we do want to audit, we can enable it. And once we've enabled it, we then have the ability to say, do we want to silent track, or do we want the tracking to be visible to the user processing the transaction? So for silent tracking, the user will be completely unaware that the tracking was taking place, and there will be an element of the system for a managerial user to go ahead and review those traces. However, if you want those changes to be made visible to the user that you are tracking them, by unticking this box, the user will be requested to enter a reason for making that change. So when it comes to the actual reasons for making the changes, I can predefine those by going into the Audit Log Reasons, and we can set these up in however you want to define those changes within your business. It's a really simple process, and I'm going to go ahead and enter a new one in here. So let's go ahead and see this module in action. So I'm going to move into the purchase ledger, and I'm going to select this supplier account and opt to amend the account. Now in this example, I'm going to go ahead and make a change to the supplier bank details. So as the user, I will move into the supplier account, onto the banking tab, go into the account number field and make a change. Upon saving this record, the user is now prompted with this new reasons for change screen. So here it makes it very, very clear what's been traced. So I can see that this was the original value, this was the original account number, and I can see that this is what the account number has been changed. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my reason. So I've updated the bank details, and I'll go ahead and save that record. Now from an auditability perspective, as a managerial user, should I ever need to inquire why those supplier bank details were changed and who changed them, I've got the ability to go into the reporting function, run the audit log report. In this example, I could specifically choose the purchase ledger. If I wanted to, I could go ahead and select the changed user. And let's go ahead and run that report. So upon viewing this report, I can see all of the changes made to the purchase ledger by the user I selected. So in this instance, me. So I can see on today's date that I've gone ahead and changed his bank details, and I can see the reason with regards to how those bank details were changed. So that's an example of the supplier bank details, but what about if somebody wanted to change a stock record or even wanted to change an existing sales order within the system? So let's go ahead and have a look at that. So here I've opened an existing sales order, and in this scenario, what I would like to do is go ahead and change the order quantity. So I'm going to change the order quantity from 1 to 2, and upon saving the sales order, the user will be prompted to enter a reason for that change. I then have the ability, when going back into the sales order, to view all of the historical changes made to this record. We have the ability to view the line changes, and by viewing the line changes, I can see all of the different changes that have been in fact made to this sales order. So this is great from a customer query perspective, but it's also great from an internal perspective should anything ever need to be checked. And finally, let's take a look at performing an amend on a stock item. So I'm going to select one of my stock items, amend the details, and perhaps change a supplier lead time. So in this instance, I'm going to make an amendment to the supplier lead time, save those changes, and the user will be requested to enter a reason for making that change. Just like our sales order, any of the changes made to this stock item will be visible to the rest of the organisation by selecting the View Changes option, which will provide a full audit trail of all of the changes that have been made to this stock record by which user on which date, the old value and the new value. So let's go ahead and take a look at our audit report one more time. And I'm going to take a look at all the changes made in this system on today's date, regardless of the module and regardless of the user. So with a few simple clicks and very simple format, I can see today all of the changes that have been made to existing records. I can see the reason why those changes were made, and I can see both the old and the new value. Finally, to cover off, if we choose to perform silent tracking from an audit trail point of view, the changes will be written into this screen, which will allow a managerial user to view all of the changes that have been made, select a transaction, and approve it and sign it off. From an implementation perspective, the huge benefit around this is that this can all be implemented for you remotely. Minimal training required, maximum efficiency within the Sage 200 system to really double check and validate changes being made within the solution. Any questions, please feel free to reach out on LinkedIn and I would love to answer them for you.